Howdy, I'm Matt, and in this video we are going to have a quick overview to the F1, or the Sonicmodell F1 race wing before she goes out for a maiden. Now this is really a record for my own reference, but also to help you with your model as well. So with that said, let's dive in, and I need to put my little hand up because Matt has been a bit of a naughty boy. Why has Matt been a naughty boy? I've actually been on and laminated it. Last night Matt got the roller laminate out, got the iron out and laminated this little wing. Now I want to stress, just for the record, that this foam is the toughest, it's the densest foam I have ever come across on an RC model. This stuff is denser than the Mini Drac, it's denser than the S800. In fact, this foam makes the Reptile S800 foam look like Play-Doh in comparison. In fact, I've got the S800 V2 down here on the side, and this foam is tough, don't get me wrong, and this is a brilliant starter wing to say the least, and this foam is extremely dense. However, the foam in the Reptile S800, I reckon what's happened in the factory, that little Chinese dude has been and cranked the number up to 11 and filled as much foam as you could cram in that. Unbelievable. I'm totally blown away by the foam. So, anyway, coming back to my point. I have been and laminated it. I don't reckon it needs laminating, but the reason why I've been and laminated mine is because I would like for it to stay clean. We've got autumn coming here in the United Kingdom. That means mucky fields. The farmer's going to come out and spray the fields with poo, and oh, it's going to be horrible. So I'd like for this one to stay nice and pretty for as long as possible until I hit a tree with it and break. Well, to be honest, I feel sorry for the tree which I hit with this, because this is going to break a branch off. This is so ridiculously tough foam. Yeah, if I hit anything, it's going to knock a branch off. So yeah. It'll be fine till we hit a tree, and then the tree will cry and run away. And have to go and bring the model back to me for once. Hey ho. Anyway, get back onto topic. Absolutely impressed by this wing so far. Again, remember, we always hold off final judgment until we get the model in the sky. But right now, face value, it is right up there. The foam is just amazing. I have been laminated just to keep her pretty for as long as possible. One little point, and again, this is such a little minor point, which is, when was the last time you saw a manufacturer put a locking nut on a control horn? Ask yourself that. When, if ever, have you seen a manufacturer do that? Answers on a postcard. You can let me know in the comments section underneath this video, because I cannot remember the last model which I've seen which has got a locking nut on the control horn. Please remind me of one which has, because I can't think of a single model which has come like that. So I have been and put 2 pins underneath. Now, let me show you this pin here. And again, unfortunately, this is actually the second time I've recorded this video, because the SD card was playing up. But you'll see that I've just got some little dress pins there, and all I've been and done, I've chosen 2 blue ones, and I've stuck them in on the CG mark in the middle, either side. So I've got 2 pins in there. So now when I turn this over and I've got the battery in it, I can just hold it here in my hand. So I've got 2 real big little balls underneath. So I'm here playing with my balls underneath my wing, so that I know whether it's going to tip forwards or backwards, so whether the CG is correct. So little tip for that, so simple to do. Put pins in the bottom, and then you know, then you can fondle your balls on the flight line and know whether you've got the correct CG or not. Moving on, in the main part of the fuselage, I have gone for a immersion RC video transmitter. In fact, why don't I just zoom in here a second so you can see. I'll get the zoom out. Again, I've got this handy little remote control. It's really useful. So we can zoom in, and again, decent camera now. So happy days. So you'll see the setup which I've got here. Now the receiver is right at the back. I've put a D4R2 receiver in there, and then put the antennas out at 90 degrees on the wing. Bit of an odd 90 degrees, but they're more 90 degrees than not 90 degrees, if that makes sense. I've bent an antenna down in and around in here, and I've got the video transmitter mounted up here on the side. I've gone for the Runcam Mini Swift in the nose. Corking little cameras, I really do rate those. I mean, yeah, I know they're bloody expensive, they're $35 or something like that. But we, like I said, we got winter coming here in the United Kingdom, so a camera which can cope with the light conditions is always a good thing. It's always a good investment. So yeah, Runcam Swift, Mini Swift, or an Owl Plus are like my favourite go-to cameras. I do have an Eagle, and in fact I have two Eagles, and the colour quality on those is just amazing, but they're so bloody expensive. If you consider how many FPV cameras I get through, and when you break one you just go, oh shite, that hurt the wallet, and you can feel your butt hurting. Anyway, so I've gone for the Mini Swift in there. Great little cameras, super light. Now, talking about it being light, what I have had to do is that if you look closely, I won't poke this with a knife, but if you look down closely in there, I have had to stick a bit of lead down in that bottom section just to get the CG to hit CG with the battery which I'm going to be using. I'm going to be using a Zippy 2200 compact battery. Also, I do have a 2200 graphene pack, which I'm just going to stick up there for reference. Now, if I ram that in there, it will fit in there. We might have issues getting the lid to fit down. So a big 2200 graphene pack, and those of you who know my views on graphenes, which are basically a waste of money, is that you could fit a big battery pack in there, but you'll have to do something about your video transmitter and stuff. And that is basically the setup. It was really simple to build. Oh, one thing to note as well, I have screwed on the wings because it's just two little screws here, simple build, and I did put the spar in the middle. And I have put, because I've laminated it, I have put sellotape down the seams either side just to add extra strength, and that's something which I picked up with doing on lots of other models which have detachable wings. Even the Mini Talon, that ensures that the wings stay to the model, so when you land in thick grass the wing's not going to get pulled off, and just a piece of sellotape, that's all I've used, just a clear cheapo sellotape, and we're away. So that's what I've been and done for that. So let's get this one powered on a moment, and the servos, very, let it do its thing, very responsive. I don't know if they're metal gears, but if you listen to them, can you hear that? Listen to that. That does not sound like cheapo servos. I'm doing the reference against maybe like the Tower Pro MG90Ss, for example, which are really good and super cheap, but not very torquey. And that kind of noise reminds me of Corona servos, like the 239 or the 238 or the 329 servos. They all make that funny little noise. If you listen to it again, hear that? That I reckon that's decent quality servos which they've put in there just by the noise, and that's so sad that I recognise that, but my hunch is that decent quality servos which they've put in just by the noise which they've got in there. Now that is obviously loads of movement which we've got in here. That's on low rates. I've put it down on low rates. I've got it down on low rates and just a little bit of movement, because remember, if this wing's doing about a ton or maybe more, is that you need very little movement in the ailerons itself. Now, as for the motor, it did come the right wired up to spin the right way. The brake, if you want to do the brake setting, you let it go beep 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 beep. Then it will change tone. Okay, I'm sure you know that with the throttle up. Then it will change tone. Let it change tone. Bring the throttle down, and then that puts the brake on. And the reason why you want the brake on is for that glide to go through. If you've still got the propeller spinning at the back, it's going to slow it down, which is not what we want, especially today. Like, we're going to take it out, we're going to fly it across the flight line gently, just get it used to it, trim it in if we need to, and then we're going to smash its nuts off, go straight for the moon, and then we're going to turn it, flip it over, let it fall down, and then we're just going to let it glide down, and we're going to see what kind of pace it picks up on the way back down. And again, if we had the propeller, that would just be like a big parachute trying to slow it down. But with the brake on, oh, I put a lost model alarm in there as well. That's not a dumb one. Probably the most important thing which I've stuck in this model is the lost model alarm, because I expect this one's going to be pretty fast. We'll give the motor a bit of a rah-rah in a moment, and you'll see why. Now, I think it was Jazzy mentioned in the comments of the unboxing about this motor being a little bit hefty. Now, it is a 2216 2000 kV motor. It is a monstrous motor. That said, you could those of you which are going to go for a kit version, which normally I would have gone for a kit version, but they only had the plug and play version available, and I really wanted one of these. And yeah, so yeah, if you go for the kit version, something like an RS2205, one of the Emax motors, one of the red bottom Emax motors, 23,000 kV would be a corking choice for this. Someone also mentioned about putting a flight controller in here. I don't know why you would want to do that, and shut up, woman. I don't know why you would want to put a flight controller in here. Okay, because it's a race wing, you're going to smash the bollocks off it. Okay, there's no other words of phrasing that. Okay, is that this isn't a wing for piddling around and enjoying the view. This one is full knacker, through the trees, out the back end, spin it around and do it all over again until you think you've puffed that battery and you don't put that throttle back down again until you need to land. Okay, this is the kind of wing which we're talking about. You could, of course, put a flight controller in it, okay, if you so wish. It's not something which I'm personally going to do. If you were that way motivated, is that you would probably want to put the flight controller up underneath there, which would be an absolute nightmare. Or you could mount it down here, right on top of the ESC wires, and you'll have to put extra lead in the way it knows to even it out. It's not really a model which you're going to stick iNav into there, to be honest. So anyway, let's shut this one up so we can give this thing a quick rah-rah.
Engines armed.
And I don't want to go any more than that because all the models are going to fly off the wall. Very, very pokey motor. Tighten that nut up as hard as I could earlier. And yeah. Alright, shut up, woman. Right. Yeah, and that is the Sonicmodell F1 racing wing. Really am looking forward to this thing. Yeah. My hopes are high. I'm going to cane its nuts off today. And I do feel like I'm age 12 and 1/4 at the moment with a brand new toy. This is like finding the adult material for the very first time. And I'm really looking forward to this. And by the way, I'm not kidding you. If I hit a tree with this, it's going to snap a branch off because this foam is so tough. And somebody was also saying in the comments section, oh, Matt, you're going to put any carbon in this? You do not need to put any extra. Unbelievable. Like, hold on to yourself. Get some of the foam. Sit down if you need to. I don't think we need any extra carbon in this one. Whew. I did say sit down. And the reason why I'm saying that is because there is a carbon spar, as far as I can tell, down this back edge, and there's another tube in this front wing piece here as well. You could see it on the inside. I'll show you. I think I showed you on the unboxing, but I've already taken the wings on and whatnot, and that is a super rigid wing, to say the least. And of course, I've been to put some laminate on there as well, so she is rock ass solid, to say the least. So mighty impressed so far. Do remember, we always hold off final judgment until we get the model in the sky. But right now, like I said, I'm a little boy, age 12 and 1/4, and I cannot wait to go out and smash the nuts off this one. Again, it's got a big bulbous nose on it. Let's pick out some bad points on here. It's got a big nose on it. Is that a bad thing? Well, yes, it's not the most aerodynamic ever. On the bright side, it is quite smooth. Again, just put a point, it does mean that we can run a bigger battery. And the camera is roughly safe in the centre of the nose as well. Well, safe as a FPV camera on the front of one of my models could ever be, in short. And it's got some nice features to it. It was, I will confirm, a bit on the expensive side. The plug and plug, well, actually no, what did I pay for this? I think I'm going to say I paid $80. I can't remember if that's right or not. Let's say that I paid $80, about 60 quid. Okay, that was a plug and play kit. Okay, it came with a motor, it came with the servos, and the build time was, oh, I'm going to put a rod in here, put the servo lead through, and put the two wings together and put two screws in. That was the build time out of the box. There is a kit version for this model available, which then, normally, like I said, I would have gone for a kit version and put my own components in here. But I would also like to say, I'm not that disappointed with the parts which I've been provided. Those definitely do sound like metal geared servos. They sound quality ones as well. And the motor, that's got a huge, great big can in it. That is really going to punch this model forwards. And yeah, as a plug and play kit, I'm happy with it. In fact, I'm very glad they haven't included any FPV equipment in there. Normally, what we find is the FPV equipment is utter rubbish. The cameras are cacked. They're always CMOS ones, and again, the horses for courses. The run cam, I think the Swift 2 is actually technically a CMOS camera, but it's that decent engineering applied to it in software. Whereas like the cheapo cameras, utter rubbish. Generally speaking, utter rubbish. And I've been able to choose my own video transmitter. So yeah, point being, I reckon right now, my personal verdict, and remember we need to hold final judgment. As a kit version, okay, I feel it would be fantastic value for money. In fact, I think Sonicmodell have done a bit of a weird one here, is because if this wing is as tough as I expect it to be, this foam is ridiculously tough and there's spares available, this is going to be the next upgrade for the S800. Remember I said about the S800 going to the AR Stealth Wing? For those of you which wanted a bigger battery bay, longer flight times, okay, this one is for those of you who want to fly faster. Okay, so this is like, for us as RC pilots, this is like a brilliant time for us to be in this hobby, because you can, most of the time I'm thinking maybe you might be a quad pilot and you've got started with an S800 wing. You now have two direct choices which you can go into. You can go for the AR Stealth Wing, which is bigger battery bay, does fly fast, need 1 to 2 minor little tweaks on it. Again, see my video in the top right hand corner for that. And then this one, that's great for those of you who want bigger flight times, bigger battery bay, more efficient flight times, and to enjoy the FPV experience of staying up for longer. And I do think right now we might have this fork off to the other side for those of you who just want to go faster. Okay, and those of you like fast, my hopes are really, really high for this one. And like I said, I think this is going to be a corking one. But remember, we always hold off for final judgment until we get the model in the sky. She is out with me for a maiden today. I am going to be that little 12 and 1/4-year-old boy on the flight line today. I really am fucking looking forward to this one. I can tell you, I really, really am. So with that said, I'm going now because I need to prepare. Like I said, today is a flying day. Any questions which you've got, please just let me know in the comments section underneath this video. Do keep in the back of your mind, this model was bought out of my own money for my own abuses. As such, if you've got any questions about this one, please just ask, because you will get an honest reply. And I'm biased right now. I like this wing. My hopes are high for it. I just hope that it does perform the way which I expect it to. And if you're not already subscribed, underneath this video there's a red button where it says Matthew Ogborn. I'm Matt, by the way. Howdy. Underneath there, click on the subscribe button, press the bell icon on the right hand side so that YouTube will notify you the second the next video is released, which is hopefully the maiden of this wing. So with that said, from myself, Matt, thank you very much for taking the time to watch this video. I'll see you again shortly, and I really am looking forward to spanking me nuts off with this one. Happy days. Cheerios.